Well, what are you doing with your masters then? Hello, my name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, Megan Chown Vlogs, where I talk about fitness, travel and dogs. Today, I have finished my masters. So, I have, over the past 2 years, been doing a masters in sports and exercise medicine at the University of Leeds, and today we had our one-time limited assessment, which is an online exam, and I've just handed it in. I finished my masters. I can't believe it. I've got like one more thing to upload, but like I completed it. I'm just waiting for a signature to be able to upload it, but I finished my masters. So I'm going out in like 20 minutes for cake to celebrate with my running buddy. So I wanted to record a video about like completing a masters, getting to the end of university tag thing, because like it's the time of year where people are coming to the end of their university. So what I'm going to be talking about is what I've studied so far, why I chose to do the masters, and what I'm doing now. So I am a doctor, so I have a medical degree. So I went straight from A-levels into medical school and just went straight through 5 years of medical school. You have the opportunity to intercalate in medical school, which means that you take like an extra year and you do another degree. So you do a bachelor's or a master's in usually science, sometimes art. But I just went straight through to be a doctor. I then worked up to be a registrar in care of the elderly, then left that, was doing teaching alongside. So I've done my postgraduate certificate of medical education to do my teaching job. But I felt like I just wanted to do more education. I was really interested in sports medicine, and I had like time in my week where I could do a master's. Also, unrelated, my nails are so long at the moment. You see them? I'm getting them done tomorrow, but they're little, we had a fatality. But anyway, I applied to do the sports and exercise medicine masters because I was looking to do sports and exercise medicine training. So it's a training pathway that starts at registrar level, you go up to consultant level. It's really competitive to get into, and I didn't, as an elderly care doctor, I didn't have much experience in sports medicine, so I thought if I did the masters it would help with that. It would help me decision making, give me some information, and also would mean that I have contact like in the field. So that's why I originally applied to sports medicine. I did the masters in sports and exercise medicine at the University of Leeds. So I'm going to talk through the different modules that we had. I did it part-time over 2 years, which is you do it full-time for a term and then you have a year off, and then you do it full-time for 2 terms. So I've just had like the last bit of full-time. So I've got this stuff written down on my iPad because I started in 2021, so I've forgotten some of the module titles. So there are, in term 1 there's 3 modules. So there is functional sports anatomy and clinical anatomy, which is like where you learn the anatomy, unsurprisingly, of all the different bits. So shoulder, knee, ankle and foot, hip, spine, pelvis, and arm, elbow, hand and wrist. And for this you've got a group poster presentation, a summative MCQ and an anatomy spotter. Oh, and a case-based short answer exam. So the anatomy spotter and the short answer exam are both in the January in person, and the summative MCQ is online before Christmas. So that involved things like going into the lab, learning all your anatomy again, and seeing how it related to sports medicine. Then there was MSK medicine and sports injuries. So this was more of the practical application, including a visit to a sports and exercise medicine clinic. So for this we had an individual presentation of a clinical case. So that was done over Teams on like PowerPoint. We had to do 2 FIFA modules in our own time and then upload evidence that we'd completed them. And we also had an online summative MCQ. Then we had an OSCE in the January, which is just like practical skills. So like examination, application of what you've learnt, things like that. And so they're the 3 modules that is that 3? No, that's not 3. No, the last one is Sports and Exercise Medicine Practitioner 1. So that's using your principles for putting into practice at a sporting event. So this is where we had the placement. So we had a placement in a sports medicine clinic. For this we had to do an MDT case study, and we also had an online portfolio to do as well. So that's 3 modules for the first term. The 3 modules in the second term are exercise physiology, health and sports nutrition. So this was looking at all sort of like obviously nutrition and physiology stuff. I found it really interesting personally because it was to do with the like fueling for different events and how the body uses substrates and things like that. So the assessments for this were a research synthesis, and then based on that an infographic, and then also a lab report, which was hard because it was all statistics and using SPSS, and I don't know if anyone's used that program, but I can use it now, but it took a lot of getting used to, let me tell you. And then you've got physical activity, health and exercise prescription. So this is all like health problems like COPD, heart failure, things like that, obesity, cancer, and how exercise can be used, exercise prescriptions, the impact of the disease on exercise, and that's what we've just had our online written exam on. And there's also a worksheet and a case study for that module for the assessment. And then you've also got a second sports and exercise medicine practitioner module in term 2. This is made up of a placement, so you need to do at least 3, there's a window, there's dogs going past. You need to do at least 3 placements, and you've got a portfolio, and then you've got UK anti-doping thing to complete. So they're the 3 modules for term 2, but alongside that you're also doing your like dissertation project thing, which is, it comes under term 3 but you start it at term 2. So that's made up of a project proposal, project presentation, like an actual like handing in the dissertation project, which is 5,000 words because it's the length of a journal article in case you want to publish it, and then also a log of what you've done, so all the meetings you've had with your supervisor, like background reading you've done, things like that. So that's the sports and exercise medicine masters. I have personally really enjoyed it, so I just love learning, and I think it's been really good to like learn like as an adult. Like I know I'm 18 when I went to medical school, but I was very like young 18-year-old, so it's been really nice like being able to learn like as an adult and applying what I've learned clinically to like an academic thing. Also, I feel like I can reference really well now. I can use EndNote excellently. That's just not me boasting, like I can, like I know how to reference now and know how to read academic papers, whereas before I don't think I was very good at that. So I have really enjoyed it, and also like the people on the course, like the tutors on the course are just so lovely, so supportive, and you email them for help and they just email back and they help you, and it's just nice, you know, and it's a nice environment. It has been a lot of work alongside my job and like life because I like to stay busy, but I just feel like if I have a goal I just work towards it. And like I handed my dissertation in 88 days early, 88 days, because on Monday I fly to Thailand and I didn't want to be doing dissertation work in Thailand, so I just cracked on and got it done. Really, I've probably got a vitamin D deficiency from how long I've spent inside in May, but it is done. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend to anyone thinking about doing the sports and exercise medicine masters doing it at Leeds. Quite a few people commuted in, so I don't live in Leeds, I live in East Yorkshire, but I just commuted in because the contact days are only once a fortnight, so it's very easy to do. Like people came from London, people came from Newcastle, so yeah, would highly recommend. And Leeds is a fantastic city, hilly but fantastic city with like loads of places to eat and great shopping. So what are my plans now? So I feel like when I did a medical degree, no one was like, what are you going to do with your degree then? Because it's obvious what you're going to do with your degree because it's a medical degree. However, with a master's, like the master's that I've done, it's a bit more like ambiguous, and so many people have been like, oh, what are you doing with your master's then? And I feel like that's what people must feel like that don't do like degrees that go straight into something. They're like, oh, what are you going to do with your degree? So initially I was wanting to do, as I said, wanting to do this master's to help me get into sports medicine training. But the problem with sports medicine training is, as I said, it's really competitive. There's only 8 training numbers a year. There's only 1 a year in Yorkshire. I don't want to leave Yorkshire. I really like it here. And that's not in East Yorkshire either, it's in South Yorkshire, and that's if I get in. And then I have to do exams to get in as well. And I don't know what I do within sports medicine, but quite a lot of the things that I've done like on placement, you don't have to be a consultant in sports medicine to do. You can do it like with some pre-hospital care stuff if you've got sports knowledge, so things like helping out pitch side and things like that, which are fun to do. I don't need to do a training pathway, and the problem with a training pathway is you're then like, once you're on it, you're like in the UK basically. Like I take full advantage of university holidays and I go off gallivanting, so I do locum shifts to remain clinical, but they're really flexible, so I can do that and then like go off travelling, which just like brings me so much joy. So my thought process currently is sports medicine will always be there, and hopefully my ability to be a doctor will always be there, but my chances to be able to travel and see the world will not always be there. So that's what I'm doing now. I don't think the Masters has been a waste of time at all. I've massively enjoyed it, and it's given me like a drive in life and something else to focus on, which has been really good, because at the beginning I had a broken foot as well, so I couldn't run. Thankfully I can run now. Still recovering from Seven Hills last night. It was a good turnout. So I think what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do with your degree. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be making any changes to my career based on my degree, but I've really enjoyed it. Like, I've had a good time. Like, it's been stressful at times fitting everything in, but I've done it and I've really enjoyed it. So I think as long as you're having a good time, you've got enough money to support yourself, then I just don't think you should regret it, really. I don't know if that's a helpful thing to say, of just do a degree for the sake of it, but like, I've just really enjoyed it, you know? I'm kind of like thinking, well, what do I do next? You know? Maybe I'll just like focus on trying to do a pull-up, because I still can't do that. And that's why I've been on my New Year's resolution list for years now. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope if you're in the middle of exams, they're going okay, and that you're going to be finished soon with like a whole summer of freedom. If you are at the end of university, do not worry if you don't know what you want to do with your life. That's very normal. The next lot of vlogs will be in Italy, and then we're heading to Thailand.